we start with more breaking news on the budget.
Every decision that we will make in the future will be made with working people in our mind's eye.
This is a tax on growth. It is a tax on hiring.
This, frankly, this budget was an assault on jobs. It's an assault on risk takers and entrepreneurs. Frankly, it's a very, very risky budget.
Oh my God, this country is finished. So many millionaires and people who have wealth and people who are smart business people are leaving this country. Why is that? Let's find out. So today was the 2024-25 Labour budget. Rachel Reeves with her HR haircut and her red envelope box, suitcase, batchy case, whatever the hell it is, was giving us all the sauce about, is the budget, what they're going to be spending on money on, what they're going to be cutting. And from then on, we all have to kind of decipher this government speak, see which bits are lies, which is probably most of it, the government, and then almost see how to react from it. So I'm going to go through it, and I've been going through it in my private WhatsApp group. I'm going to take you through the key things and how I think they're going to affect us as entrepreneurs in 2024 and beyond. I'm also going to give my opinion because, I'm not afraid of doing that. So the first thing, national insurance employers' contributions rise by 1.2% to 15% and a lower threshold from when you have to start paying it. Okay, that's great for my staff, but I, as a business owner, now have an increase and a lower threshold in what I'm paying for them every month. Now, you may not know, if you have staff, they earn a certain amount, pass a certain threshold, you pay employers' national insurance contribution. And you get roads without potholes, a great healthcare system, great public transport. No way, I must be talking about a different country because we don't get that in response, we get fuck all. And so what this means is we have higher costs now. So if you were getting a pay rise, if you have certain benefits, if you have a certain package, as an employer, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, you were gonna get more money, but now actually you're getting more money and I'm losing even more. That's just the way it is. Employers will think about this. I employ about 40 to 50 staff, it varies. So for me, I am considering it. Don't think it's going to have a massive impact on my businesses. They're profitable, they're fine. If I had hundreds of staff or thousands of staff, I think it would have a bigger impact. I think a lot of these tax issues are, we get more taxed and then we get nothing in return, or it feels like we don't, The NHS is going to continue to be broken and get worse for the next 5 years. So are the roads, so are the transport. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Secondly, and this is hefty, capital gains tax increased the basic gains tax to now 18% and the higher rate tax to 24%. For people who own assets in your personal name, it just gets harder and harder. Yeah. Capital gains tax, what a pain. I mean, look, it's going to raise a chunk because people are buying and selling, but it could have an impact on how people sell and how they realize their assets, and it could slow down transactions. It could make people not sell who are maybe thinking about it, which, can have varying effects on the economy. So I think this is a positive for them. They get more tax out of us to have their PPE scandals with, to bomb innocent people all across the world with, etc., etc. Support colonialism and all that. But we lose more money for it. Inheritance tax. So the threshold freeze has been extended, all right? And they're adding pensions to inheritance tax from 2027. So keep spending your pension and stay alive for longer? Look, doesn't necessarily affect me at my age. I'm not really fussed and I'm not really going to talk about it because it's not going to affect me for a long time and the rules are going to be totally different by then. It'll be a 99% tax and we'll all be in Dubai then, everyone's happy. Apart from all the workers who get underpaid. Anyways, is this going to affect the current kind of market? I think extending the freeze on the threshold will help. Adding pensions to it for 2027, maybe increase spending if people can access their pension, depending on how it's all structured. This one's really interesting. Increasing air passenger duty. Now, on economy flights, they said it's going to be like a couple of quid, right? So Ryanair goes from £2 to go to, Magaluf to now being £4. Sorry, Dave. Now, there's going to be a much larger hike for private jets. I think there's up to 50% increase on that duty. Now, look, tax the rich, on the streets, stop oil, all that shit. Yes! But the rich people are the ones who should, the government do their jobs, pay the most tax, bring the most impact to the economy, hire the most people, spend the most. And so you're punishing people for working hard and doing that? Okay. I'm not massively against that. If I was riding in private jets, regularly, then I would be pissed off about it. What they should do is tax like Amazon and Google and those companies who actually get away with it. But anyways, MPs, pockets, corruption, we all know what they do. And that's quite an interesting one, actually. And I think quite a few private jet flights in the UK. I think that's going to give them a nice chunk, and it pertains to their image of, you know, we're for the working person, you know, we want to tax the rich and give to the poor, you know, Robin Hood. Yeah, don't want to see Keir Starmer in tights. Alcohol and tobacco duty. So alcohol duty increases slightly, tobacco increases annually. I mean, good. Alcohol, I don't care about so much, but tobacco just has no benefit at all. Yeah. A really interesting one, though, is vape taxes. So there is going to be an increase, I can't remember the amount, but there's there's going to be like a vape duty or vape tax for the first time, to stop young people getting into the, you're like, cuzzy, fucking blueberry flavour, innit? Like, honestly, you don't need vapes. High performers don't rely, okay, they might take caffeine, they might eat health. High performers do not rely on extraneous substances, or they shouldn't. Especially not ones that have no real benefit, smell way too fruity, and just look like stupid. I'm sorry, vapors, but like, you just like stop your addiction and fucking do something. Like, sorry. So good. Starting taxes on vapes. Stamp duty. Oh dear. That's increased. That's increased by a good couple of percent. Blah. I mean, apparently for second homes or limited companies or whatever, but it still doesn't help when most people are buying in limited companies now. So, not most people, but a lot of people are obviously switching to that. So, yeah, you know, and they claim because it's for second homes and investors, it makes first home purchases more accessible because it prevents them buying them. But who does all the development and refurbishment of houses? Not the government. You lot ain't building shit. You try and stop it with your planning departments. It's us. We buy them, renovate them, rent them out, sell them on. So if we're less inclined as investors to buy and do these things, I mean, ain't no one going to trust you to do it. So yeah, that sounds nice on paper and it reduces competition, but your average first time buyer is not buying. When I bought this house, it wasn't too much of a shithole, but it was a shithole. You couldn't afford to buy this and do all the work in it. And then as a most first time buyers, I'm a property investor, I could. I have a certain level of wealth, I could. Most people cannot. They want kind of ready-made easier. Look, there's obviously investors who buy ready-made things as well, but I don't think the reason for that is the most, you know. They're also changing, I'm not exactly sure on the details of this, but the NonDom, the non-domiciled tax for people who live or don't live here, so that you can't, you know, pretend you live in Dubai when you actually live here and make money. Oh, one thing with all these tax rises, they haven't increased VAT, national insurance for employees, and they haven't increased income tax. That's cool. Their growth, apparently, the economy growth is predicted to reach 2% in 2025, and then it will gradually slow after that. And government borrowing, I mean, they just print money and make it up, really. That's my view on that. Minimum wage increase. So, currently it's $11.44 an hour if you're over 21. It is then going to be £12.21 in April. So that's about 1,400 more per year for full-time workers. You know, it's about 100-ish quid a month before tax. Lol. That's pretty good. You know, if I look at like my cleaners who are on, you know, currently on 12, 13, 14, you know, that will benefit. But what will happen is, as happens every year, in April, I'll send a letter out to all my cleaning clients and just, you know, this increase is happening because of this, as it happens every year. So it's not, you know, it's not a crazy jump, I don't think. I think that, you know, it always goes up. Everything goes up every year. So yeah, I mean, nothing really crazy to say about that. Apparently there's some wage increases for younger workers as well. The state pension is increasing by 4.1%, so an additional £470 next year for pensioners. Okay, again, doesn't really affect me. I think also, and I said this in my private WhatsApp group, which if you want to join, leave a comment below. You know, that actually, you know, as entrepreneurs, yes, I have a pension. It's actually my best performing asset, like 20-25% a year. And I teach my mentees how to get the same. Obviously, I can't access it for a long time. And my main thing with, I suppose, being that age is that I have enough money, wealth, assets that yes, I have a pension and hey, it's coming in every month and we're going to spend that on, you know, cruises, right? Big up cruises. Or bingo. Bingo like with AI at that point. Because, you know, I'm so young. And so, yeah, it doesn't really bother. I don't think it affects massively things. I think it's probably positive, I suppose. I'll ask my nanny G. I'll ask my grandmother what she says. There is a freeze on fuel duty. Yay! Which saves the government something like 3 billion. Or it costs them, 3 billion because they're not making money from that. I mean, okay. I do spend a lot on petrol. 6.2 litre V8, naturally aspirated. I'm at the pump so much, and I've just bought a 6-cylinder, 3 litre. It's turbocharged though, so it should be getting 30 mpg, you know, on good days. And that's going to be revealed soon, what I've just purchased. Yeah, fuel duty. Cool. Not much to really say about that. Pretty But yeah, I must say HM Treasury though, when they were posting this stuff on Twitter, really nice graphics. Yeah, whoever's in their little social media intern on Canva, big up yourself. Corporation tax is stable at whatever the currently is, which is an annoying number. An income not income thrush, flipping heck. Income tax thresholds are staying the same. So yeah, and they'll go up later, they've said, obviously. There's a major budget increase for schools, special education and defence. And by defence, what they mean is selectively helping countries with certain skin colours to defend against colonial oppressors, but not help other countries to defend against colonial oppressors, because this country is a colonial oppressor and they can't go against, who they are in their nature. So not defence, very much offence. A very big budget there, of course, as usual. NHS funding, the NHS is broken, the hospitals are broken. All this money is going into the pocket of the builders that I go to gym with. Yeah, I'm telling you. It ain't gonna, to fix that roof, a couple hundred grand there. And suddenly that 1 billion for NHS buildings is gone because mismanagement, poor contractual choices. You get the drift, right? The 10-year plan has a 22 billion budget for day-to-day and 3.1 billion for capital improvements aimed at shorter wait times. No one wants to work for the NHS. You get underpaid and overworked. And suddenly, you're going to pay people more? Oh no, it's for the buildings, it's for this, it's for... How are you going to reduce wait times with less staff? How are you going to get people to come here after Brexit? How's Brexit going, by the way? Brexit is. Yeah, all the money it's cost us. Yeah, really, really good decision. So look, I actually expected the budget to be a lot worse. For once in my life, I've actually paid attention to it, and it kind of reminds me why I just shouldn't even bother. Because, there just isn't that much, personally, that I take umbrage to, Look, they definitely lied when they said, we're not going to increase taxes, working people, blah, blah, blah. Well, they have, in some, shape or form. Maybe not income tax, so okay, I'll give them that. But, looking at all the things they've done, the policies, the plans, I think a lot of it's bullshit and it won't happen, and they'll mismanage it and they'll misspend it, and, hold your little red detty case up, whatever. But, it's a lot of words, it's a lot of talk. I'm grateful it's nothing crazy. I think the interbank rate, one of the rates dropped by 0.1% after hearing this. So there's no shock, pre-Halloween shock. Ooh. It's quite straightforward, actually. There's going to be loads of videos from your favourite property developers and trainers saying, BTL is dead, stamp duty go. At the end of the day, we're going to adapt. We're going to charge more to customers. Rents might go up. The amount we charge in my food business might go up. The cost of my education and mentorship. It just went up. Sorry, guys. Budget 2024. I'm not overly fussed. There's obviously lots of people reacting to it, and lots of, the OBR, what's that? The official for whatever, Google it. They are reacting to, the announcements and what they think is going to happen and how it's going to affect, what's happening. And actually, I think it's quite interesting to look at those, but at the same time, and again, this is why I actually don't watch the budget. As always, you can be super not paying attention to anything, you can be super into it, or you can be in the middle. Or you just do the most basic thing, which is keep on making more money. Yes, it feels like we're getting taxed to the hilt. Yes, this government's shambolic. Yes, I'd love to be out of it tomorrow, but if we're here and we're going to be here, it's capitalism. You just got to keep making more money. That's literally it, No increase in capital gains tax, no increase in income tax, dividend tax. Those are good things, for business owners. The, employers' contributions, etc. Yeah, it doesn't help massively, but, the thing is always work hard, make more money, buy nice cars. You know what I mean? That's it, really. So I'll leave you with that message. I'd love to know your thoughts on the budget, how it's going to affect you and your business, and leave a comment below. And if you haven't pressed the bell icon, don't be a bell, press the bell icon. If you're on Spotify, I have 43 reviews. There's thousands of you who listen to this. I beg you, just go to the top and rate it. You don't, you literally, 5-star, that's it, done. I've got 550 reviews on iTunes and podcast player. So thanks, people. Bye.